Bants or bullying, bants or bullying. We're playing a game called Bants or bullying, bants or bullying, bants or bullying. It's rarely bants, it's usually bullying.
Oh yes, I have a Smasher skin cloak now. Made out of the skin of that fucking Smasher. I picked me back on 1 hit point again. Which is less than ideal after the fight with the Ranger in the long grass. And oh, that's right, yes, the Mystic town, the Mystic place where we had arrived, has unaccountably burnt down while I'm here in a deeply inconvenient fashion. And we finished up last time with a discussion about whether to use the militia boon to recover the point so I could get some healing gear out of them, or maybe run south and see if I can save Hinseltown, which fell while I was dicking around with the Outriders. My main worry with this one, incidentally, is the militia boon can also be used in the final fight. So I'm wondering if basically I should write off Hinseltown. Maybe pass through whatever point this is in the middle of the woods, because frankly that looks like a trap. Get back to... Oh, it's not Hatfield, is it? What the flip is it called? Oh, get back to Hertford. That was it. Get back to Hertford and start the fight with the Rune Lord. I've got multiple boons now. Not as many as I thought I did, unfortunately. I only seem to have the... Oh, I've got a wall as well, haven't I? I forgot about the wall. Yeah. We have successfully acquired a wall. Let me see if I can find something to represent a wall. Fuck it, I'll just use that one. After we liberated the quarry. Yeah, militia boon. Oh no, I have got a reinforced wall. I've already made myself one. There we go. Cool. Right. So, Rune, part 2. We're in the Fellwoods. We are hunting a Rune Lord who we only get 1 pop at. I was just going over my various advantages, like my horse, the beast bell, the outrider boon, which I can use to reduce the siege clock, my 1-use healing potion. The fact that I'm on 1 hit point. But I have got werewolf blood or werebeast blood at the moment, which means I'm running 3 stamina in combat, which is a massive boon. Right, so we're leaving the Mystic place, having broadly screwed them by bringing the bad guys there. Heading back to Ranger's Rest, where there is nothing new. And that means ticking the clock once. Then, I guess, heading south to investigate this obvious trap space. That's right. Got my horse, haven't I? I need to move twice before I mark the play clock. So I shouldn't have marked it there, but I'll mark it for moving to point 6. And I've moved to point 6. Let's find out what's at point 6. Crossroads. Multiple well-worn roads of the forest meet at this point. Signs of great amount of movement cover the ground, footprints and cart tracks. I have a situational fight here, which is at the top. Which triggers if there are 3 segments on the clock. There are 3 segments on the clock. Now, I don't have to encounter that fight, but because it's at the top and because of the rules around fights, if I don't encounter it, I can't encounter the other fight. And if I don't do that other fight, I take 2 harm when I leave this point as beasts hunt me through the woods. So basically, I've ridden into an ambush on 1 hit point. So I'm going to do something extravagant, I think, unless you've got a better idea. I am going to ignore the fight, take 2 harm, having walked straight into a trap. There's no other benefits for dealing with that point. The 2 harm will kill me, putting me on -1 hit point, and then I will resurrect at point 1. Now, normally, for dying and resurrecting, the Rune Lord would see this as a moment of weakness, further prepare their assault and mark the siege clock. A ranger would have spotted that ambush, David, but I killed the ranger, if you remember, because he'd been tainted by foul beast magics. But I have the Deathless Rune, which I got from the Ruined King, which means I can ignore the first death penalty I take when exploring a realm. So I'm going to ignore that. I'm not weakened because obviously the Realm Lord is scared of my elite Realm Lord killing powers. Resurrect back at Hartford with no penalties. Hey, it's brilliant having save points. I have done, just check that. Yeah, I've done everything except the final delve, which requires me to begin the final fight of the realm, call out and challenge the Rune Lord. Am I ready for the fight? What do you think? Let me just count up 1, 2. So that'll tick me once because I've got my horse. And then, yeah, okay. I can make it there. Oh, here's Gary. All right. After watching your best efforts, I went to watch Soviet Womble. He was trying to convince someone to go and LARP at a game called Empire. I put in chat that I'd just been watching you, meaning me, and many, well, about 6 said RAF streams. I said yes, and they were suitably impressed. I got kudos for knowing you, and they wanted to watch, but probably won't. Wow. There we go. I'm glad you got kudos for knowing knowing Andy Raff. It's not something that happens very often, I'm going to be honest with you. We have just, I don't know when you joined in, but we just walked straight into an ambush and died. But thanks to a combination of factors, including my Deathless Rune, it's not as bad as it looks. We're back at Hartford. I had a quiet pint, and we're about to set off to liberate Hinseltown. So, one step to the ruined burg, where there is nothing that I can particularly do. My horse means I don't have to tick the play clock. And then ride hell for leather to the burg and use my militia boon, call in the militia, to revert this point so it is no longer lost. So we've come to liberate Hinseltown. Gary's saying that a lot of people he knows does the dressing up game. It's quite popular, I understand, with nerds. So, point 8. Hinselton. If I remember correctly, when we arrived here the first time, we discovered that the walls were being besieged. And I decided that it was more important for me to get news to the Outriders and try and recruit the Ranger than it was for me to mess around potentially getting killed. But now that I have wolf blood, I'm much more confident about taking on this fight. So, while not as large as Hartford, the small city of Hinselton acts as a place with formidable power. Its walls are ravaged with claw marks and soaked in blood. I am having a fight, probably with the backup of the militia. Either that or the militia are distracting the bad guys while I try and get inside. I have permanent terrain at A1 to D1. Okay, it's another fight outside the walls in close quarters. We have difficult terrain at A2, B3, and D3. I am starting at B2, lurking in the bushes, as is my wont. And we are dealing with 3 smashers, 2 rippers, and a stalker. Three smashers, 2 rippers, and a stalker. Great. The stalker is at D3 in the long grass. The rippers are at A3 and 4. Oh gosh. And the smashers, of which there are 3, are at B, C, and D4. B, C, and D4. Ugh, criminy. So, smashers, just going to enlarge that a little bit, have got 3 health. Okay. They are the ones that get benefits if they are starting their turn next to another enemy, which I suspect, given how many of them are, they're going to be doing a lot of. My big question, incidentally, with this fight is, do I stick with the Beastbane Blade, which is really effective against small numbers of beasts, with its potential harm 6 against a beast if I'm wielding it two-handed? Do I switch back to my Great Axe, which worked really well in the last fight where we were defending a town from beast monsters, because it has the cleave quality, health 3 on the rippers. And the rippers are the ones, they do extra damage when they're adjacent to pack leads. Still haven't encountered a pack lead, so we don't have to worry about them particularly. And the stalker only has health 2. That is the one, I think, that does the big jump, isn't it? Yes. Leaps. Deals harm equal to the number of spaces moved. Do I stick with the Beastbane Blade? Do I swap the Beastbane Blade out for my trusty Great Axe? Or do I do the crazy thing and use both? Hand and a half sword in one hand, murder axe in the other. Oh, and of course I've got the Beast Bell, so if the worst comes to the worst, I can take a thing that means beasts don't act during the turn. I think it's got to be the axe, hasn't it? David reckons the axe and the sword. The shield has repeatedly saved my life, but the fact that I've successfully fought two-handed with the Beastbane Blade makes me think you might be right. Should we go DPS? We go crazy fury stance. I'm on 3 stamina, aren't I? That is a really good point. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I just need to quickly add a new macro. I think I'll call it roll 3 dice. Okay, roll 3 ice, which is very similar. Put that in the bar. Excellent. Okay. 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 I think I'm going to start off with the Beastbane Blade one-handed, because I want to be able to access the cleave on the Great Axe. This is a really silly idea, you know. But anyway, whatever. Got my Strider boots. So let's find out what the enemy are doing. I'll roll for the Soul Ripper first. They have a 5, which means that they are going to be moving 3, harm 3. So they're going to charge straight into me and tear me a new one. I'll go top to bottom with these. So that is 2 and 1. One's not too bad. They are both going to move 1, harm 1. Good thing here is that only one of them can actually get adjacent to me here. And now we roll the smashes. I'll go left to right. And because they are starting their turn next to another enemy, they get +1 to their roll to determine their actions. Spec into arms and dual wield. Tempting, but I don't want to be too much like a ranger. So that is 6, 3, 4. So can't go higher than 6. That's not good. Oh no, that's the one where they stay still. Yes. The 4 becomes a 5. And the 3 becomes a 4. So the smashes, that one, let me get to select, that one is staying where it is and trying to do a huge amount of damage. And the other 2 are doing the same trick, move 2, harm 2. So let's have a look. I think the Stalker, who is leaping, bugger. Is that right? Yeah, apparently it is. The Stalker moves 3 into my space and is currently inflicting harm 3 thanks to its leap quality. Okay. The Rippers both move 1, move 2. Oh gosh, this is gonna be about a slightly shorter fight, I suspect. Move 2, harm 2. That smasher stays where he is. This smasher moves 2, harm 2, and this smasher moves 2, but can't get into melee with me. Hooray. Okay. So at the minute, I am taking 3 harm from the Stalker, 2 more harm from the smasher, 1 harm from each of the Rippers. I'm taking 7 points of damage on my turn. Well, when we do harm, I'm taking 7 points of damage. And the only thing that's not making that not 9 is the fact that the 2 Rippers are in difficult terrain. They're in the undergrowth, so that's great. Okay, brilliant. I should have kept the shield, you know. Anyway, let's roll my 3 dice and see what I get. So, a 6, a 3, and a 2. A 6 is a good start. I can do a lot with a 6. 3, I can at least do something with a 3, and the 2 is not brilliant, but the nice thing is I can combine it with the 3 to make a 5. So effectively, I've got a 6 and a 5. Okay. So I'm going to assign the 6 to the Great Axe and add the other 2 together to get a 5, remembering that I do an extra point of damage against beasts. So, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. They absolutely tear into me. Do me 7 points of damage. There is blood everywhere. I'm being savaged by beasts. Yeah, I'm being savaged by beasts. So I've got harm 3 and cleave. And it's pretty obvious what I'm going to do with the harm 3. I'm going to assign the harm 3 to the Ripper to the south of me, which has health 3. That kills it. Booth. It then does 1 point of damage to every adjacent enemy because of my cleave quality. So, proper Fury Warrior style, we have a Berserk Frenzy. And the nice thing about that, incidentally, is that it will hit the fella that's adjacent to me, that's in my same space. And then I've got a harm 3 that I can assign to anyone who is adjacent to me. I have to say I'm rather tempted to get rid of the Ripper. But instead, I'm going to take out the Smasher. 3 points of damage. Bosh. Dead as a doornail. Okay, so we managed to kill 2 of them. And the other one has more than half killed me. They are capable of taking me out this round, incidentally. I sense I'm going to want that healing potion for the fight against the Rune Lord, though. Neither of the Smashers are adjacent to other enemies at the minute, so they're not going to be getting the bonus that they would normally get. The Stalker is in the same space as me, so it can't leap on me. That is good. In fact, if it rolls a 5 or a 6, it does 0 damage. So I think, all things considered, that I'm going to save my healing potion. And see how the fight goes. So let's start with the Stalker again. Let's see what the... I'll just take these off. Let's see what the Stalker is doing. The Stalker's got a 2. I'll pull that across. So the Stalker is moving 1 and doing harm 1. He's currently at same range, so he's going to stay where he is. But he's doing harm 1. That's not great, but it's not the end of the world. The Ripper has a 2. The Ripper is doing move 1, can't get into my space. Move 2, can't get into my space. He's at melee range, so stays where it is, doing harm 2. I'm currently taking 3 harm. The first Smasher, I'll roll them separately. First Smasher gets an inconvenient 5, which is move 2, harm 2. He is going to get as close as he can, which is in the difficult terrain, thank goodness. And then the other Smasher, so he's going to do me 1 more point of damage. The other Smasher has got a 2, move 1, harm 1. So he moves at 1 and he's going to do me another point of harm. I am now dead. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I've got 5 hit points left. So if I stay where I am, I'm going to kick the bucket. I've got some move. Even a point of move is going to make the world of difference here, I think. And I've always got at least a point of move because of my boots. Move who left? Oh, the Smasher. That is a bit tight. I tell you what. No, I'm not going to move him onto the difficult terrain if there's somewhere he can... Actually, no, let's roll a dice. Odds, I'll leave him where he is. Evens, I'll move him onto the difficult terrain. We'll see how much he wants to hang out with his buddy. Odds, I'll leave him where he is. I'm not going to drink the healing potion. Instead, I'm going to roll the stamina. Wish me luck. 4, 2, and 1. 4, 2, 1. 2 and the 1 make a 3, or I could add the 4 together to get a... I could get a 5 or a 6. I want to be able to move 2, ideally. Which I can do with either of them. So, why don't I assign a 3 to the Beast Blade, letting me move 2 and do harm 1, but because they're beasts, it's going to be harm 2, which is enough to take out either of those 2, and that leaves me with the 4 to put on the Great Axe, which also gives me move 2, harm 2, and cleave. So actually, I could get the fuck out of dodge. Frankly. The 2 Smashers are doing 1, 2 are doing you 2 points of damage. So I think if I move to there with my move 2, I cleave either one of the smashers for 2 points of damage, which is enough to kill it, and then and it will also kill the stalker, and then I use the beast blade with harm 2 against beast to kill the other smasher. That seems reasonable. The other thing I could do, of course, is I could just keep moving, end up down here, only take 1 point of damage, but then I'd only kill the cleaver and the stalker. So I think that is the best position to be in for taking out as many of these as possible before they kill me. It's going to leave me fucked up. But hopefully somebody in Hilton has got a healing potion. So here we go. The axe, I take 2 points of damage from the 2 adjacent smashes. That is a short health bar. And yet again, I would like to point out that had I... Oh no, I'm still on 3 hit points. I'll do it in a second. I'll point out that had I had... Shit. I'm not on 3 hit points. My apologies. I'm on 2 hit points. I'd forgotten I'd lost a point of maximum health last time round to gain the stamina boost. Anyway, so they both do me 1 point of damage. That is going to kill me. Shit. No, I've done the 1 point of damage. Fuck. Right, yes, okay, done the 1 point of damage. Focus Wrath. I cleave this guy for 2, killing him. Hits an adjacent monster for 1, killing him. And then I apply the Beast Blades 3 to this smasher, killing him. Rah! I am a sexy shooter's god of war. End of the round. I have 2 hit points left. The Ripper... is probably going to kill me. Bollocks. The only way he doesn't kill me is if he rolls a 6. I have to get adjacent to him to do him any damage. The minimum harm he can be doing is 2 or 1. I could try... I know I'm no halfling, David. That is very true. I could try luring him onto some difficult terrain. I think I'm going to have to drink the healing potion. Do I drink it or do I dick around and try and lure him into the difficult terrain? If he gets move 3, he'll move into my space. If he gets move 2, I think there's a 50-50 chance he'll end up in the difficult terrain. Dick around? Really? Really? Okay, let's dick around. I'm going to take the healing tincture in combat, which gives me plus 3 hit points. No, I'm not going to take the healing tincture. That's what dick around means, isn't it? Sorry. So. I can dodge him no matter what. Okay, so let's roll a dice and see what he's doing. He has a 5. The remaining Ripper is going to move 3. 1, 2, 3 into my space, which is the closest he can get to me, and is gonna do me 3 points of damage, which will kill me. I roll 3 dice, getting 2 6s and a 2. Right, fine. Well, that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? I'll assign the 6 to my Beastbane Blade. Oh, crap. No, I'm dead. What did I roll? 6, 6, 2. Yeah. Okay. I'm dead. The 2 isn't sufficient to give me anything. The 6 only gives me move 1 on the Beast Blade. The other 6 only gives me... doesn't give me any move at all. The shoes as only work if you have no move from weapons this round. Right, fuck it. I'm necking my healing potion. Because it's the only way to stay alive. I'm assigning the 2 6s. I'll move 1. And I'll do him harm 2, 3, 4, 5. Harm 6. Taking 3 harm in the process. And killing him. When you said you can dodge him no matter what, that's the point at which I should have checked whether you'd remembered that the boots only work if I get 0 move. To be fair, that was the worst possible combination. If I'd got a 3 or a 4, I'd have got the move 2 off that one, or the move 2 off that one. But anyway. So, with an astonishing 2 hit points left, the massive wage of beasts has been dealt with. Thanks to the militia. Hooray. So let's have a look and see what my options are in the side. I can increase my law. In fact, I'm going to do that. It's always good to learn. Hurried footsteps approach you from behind as a wizened arcanist struggles to catch you in the street. They saw your work in defending Hinselton and place a charm in the palm of your hand before walking away. Yes. So, that gives me the Windwalker charm, which I have on my sideboard. I have no idea what it does. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. Oh. So let's copy that. It is a piece of gear. I've made out quite well out of this realm. So the Windwalker's mark is gear, and it is, if I have 2 or less health remaining, which I do, deal your harm before any enemies deal theirs. Oh, that is nice. I would have to equip it at the cost of the Strider boots, but that is really nice, particularly for a DPS build. Such as I appear to have been tricked into by David. And finally, a delve. Requires that points 7 or 10 have not been lost. Oh, gosh. Point 10 has not been lost. But point 7 has. But it's an or. So point 7 has not been lost. In addition, you must have Law 2, which I do, or a City Mark, which I do. So, let's find out what the delve is. Gain 1 use of the Militia Boon. The Lords of Hinselton consider the situation and agree to provide you with a regiment of the city's militia, so long as its borders remain clear of beasts. Go full DPS, no one likes tanks. I liked... Okay, no, that's fair. Nobody does like tanks. Nobody likes DPS, David. DPS are like a dime a dozen, and they are all terrible, and not a single one of them knows not to stand in the fire. And I have played a lot of healers in my time. But more importantly, we've got ourselves another Militia Boon to replace the one that we used to free this place. And I am quite happy about that. Now, I could use it to free the Mystics and go and get their magic healing potion, but I'm feeling confident that we will not need their magic healing potion. And also, I have about half an hour before I'm due to meet Sean for a mandate. So, we will bid the proud burghers of Hinselton goodbye, and with their militia, replacing the militia we've lost, We'll move one space to there by horseback. We'll move one space to there, arriving back at Hertford. I also miss Pandaria, David, but for different reasons. How are you main tank and best DP? Were you playing a druid? Whew. I am going to rest. Recover all health. Back up to 11. That fills in the plague clock, unfortunately. But instead of filling in the siege clock, I'm going to use my Outrider boon to remove a tick from the siege clock. We still have to roll to see which location gets screwed. It is point 10. Ironically, it is the Outriders themselves who have drawn the wrath of the Realm Lord, and their little Outrider camp has been burnt down. Blood the Death Knight. Vengeance was a dumb mechanic. I didn't really play Death Knights much. I didn't enjoy them. They felt like poor quality warriors. I'm probably showing that I didn't understand Death Knights with that. So, here we go then. I've got 2 boons to use in the final fight. A militia boon and a wall. I've got a magic bell that will stop beasts acting for a turn. I've got 11 hit points, and I have 1 try at this. Ever. But on the other hand, even if I fail to save the people from the Realm Lord, I have picked up a really cool magic sword and a perfectly adequate piece of gear. So it's not been a complete waste, even if we die horribly here. I am probably shifting back to shield, however. So, a twisted horn is handed to you by the Hertford City Guard. Its howling call will echo throughout the woods, calling to its master. You may only fight the Rune Lord once. Make sure you are ready for this fight before doing so. I am not ready for this fight. Rune Lord's arrival. Gorax, the Beast Lord. Gorax! Grrr. If you are reading this page, the Rune Lord of the Fellwoods has arrived, either through your challenge or the siege clock filling up. Now that they have arrived, there is no turning back. You must fight them. You only get 1 shot at Gorax. If you fall, the Fellwood falls with you. Assemble boons. Before consulting the fight setup on the next page, first take stock of any boons you may have collected across the realm. Ahahaha. Specifically, the boons that are relevant to the fight are Militia. Each use of Militia reduces the starting health of all enemies by 1 before the fight begins for each wave flip. The Reinforced Wall, which we got from the quarry, prevents the arrival of the first wave of reinforcements. So no first wave of reinforcements. The Mystic fully heals the Engrave before the first wave, bollocks, and an additional 2 health before each subsequent wave. You may of course also use any and all bonuses, weapons, equipment or gear you assemble from around the Fellwood. So, that talk of waves makes me... I'm not sure I can do it, you know. The big question is, full DPS nearly got me killed in the fight at Hinselton, and I'm worried that it's going to get me killed here. So I should switch back to the shield. But the problem is, do I switch back to... Do I keep the cleave axe, or do I go with the Beastbane blade? Once I start once I select my equipment, I'm locked in until the end of the fight. Only a werewolf can beat another werewolf. I'm only partially a werewolf. I do have the ability to stop beast acting. Oh man, it seems odd to have got this Beastbane blade and not use it, and it does have a block on it if I'm using it two-handed. Screw it, let's stay full DPS. So the last question is, I'm pretty confident I'm going to be undead, so there's no point using the Sunscorched Ring. So Strider Boots or Windwalker Mark? I think it's Windwalker Mark. Yeah. I can change between 1 and 2 hands at the start of any round. So I'll see what sort of... Initially, when I've got all my hit points, I think I want it one-handed. Because of the cleaving. But we'll worry about that in a second. So Strider Boots or Mark? Move or... Move or deal harm before the opponent deals harm. If I am completely fucked. The Mark will only come into play once. You know that, don't you, David, that you're recommending Mark? Because once I'm on 2... Oh, no, maybe I might get healed. Fine. Let's try the Windwalker Mark. As I say, if I fail to kill this guy, all I'm missing out on is the rune. So, we've assembled the boons. Turn the page. Gorax the Beast Lord. Howls echo off the stone walls of Hartford, and the ground quakes below your feet. The assembled defences face off against a massive force of beasts. At the centre, towering above all others, stands Gorax, Lord of Beasts, Feller of Trees, Harbinger of the Bloody Claw. As you fight Gorax, waves of reinforcements arrive. Set aside a d6 and turn it to 6. This represents a countdown until the arrival of the next wave. After each round, reduce the d6 by 1. When it would reach 0, the next wave arrives to reinforce Gorax. Each wave is placed anywhere on the bottom row of the grid, A1 to D4. If there are no open spaces, then the next row up is used instead. When you kill Gorax, the reinforcements stop, and all beasts flee the area in terror. You may clave your rune. So, there is no permanent terrain on this map. There is only difficult terrain. And there is difficult terrain at A3, B2, C3 and 4. And difficult terrain means they do 1 less harm. And D1 and 2. Shit. Okay, that is a lot of difficult terrain. I have Gorax and 2 Smashers initially. So I've got my 2 Smashers there. And because of the... I'll use this one as my reinforcement dice. Because I've got a multi-sided dice set up. It's just they are a fiddle to use for stamina. I will find my Gorax. Let's have a look. Ranger... Gorax the Forest Lord. Need a token for Gorax. He has 12 health. Ah, but he counts as a beast. So the Beastbane bullet thing will do some extra damage to him. What is a good beastie? Ah, there we go. Oh, no, let's use the hyena. Let's assume he's a... Yeah, that's vaguely wolfy. Gorax starts at B4. And he has 12 health. And we have 2 Smashers who start at A4 and D4. With their 3 health. And I start at C1. Okay. Killing Gorax frees the Fellwood of the beast that haunts it. From their body, you may remove the Fell mark. Okay. So Gorax has got 12 health. He is the same and adjacent guy, so unsurprising there. He's got move 1, harm 3, harm 1 and howl. So on a 3 to 4, he doesn't do a lot apart from howl. On a 5, he moves and does harm 2. And on a 6, he heals and does harm 2. And Howl reduces the wave d6 by 1. This effect can be prevented if Gorax takes at least 2 harm this round. The beast movements betray its origins. Finesse, practice, the perfect stance of a hunter. It's another bloody evil ranger. I do get 12 rounds until more enemies arrive. So, you are right. It is time to go ham. So let's find out what Gorax is going to do. Gorax has started off excellent. He's healing on the first round of combat before he's taken any damage because he's an idiot. Left to right, 2 1s. Ah, no, my apologies. The Smasher has a pack boon, so he gets a 2. Doesn't matter. They're both the same. So, the 2 Smashers are both doing move 1, harm 1. So, I think it is... Oh, no, they are going to try and get closer to me. So, move 1. Harm 1. Gorax has a 6, so he is healing 2 and he's doing harm 2. Okay. Let's roll my stamina dice for the first round. I've got a... Okay. I was just about to say, I've got a good feeling about this. So, I can get a 3, a 4, or a 5. Oh, hi Mike. I just thought I'd try and get the final fight in. The second part of the Fellwoods. You've just turned up in time for us to be fighting Gorax the Beast Lord, the fell werewolf shape-changing horror of the Fellwoods. We are fighting outside the walls of a city. We've gathered a whole load of boons together that have given us major advantages. Oh, that is right. All the monsters are -1 health. Just check that. The starting health of all enemies by 1 before the fight begins. So, and that is relevant because 2 harm I can do in my sleep. And that puts Gorax on 11, but he then heals up to 12, which is a shame. But never mind. So, 4 or 5. 5 is move 1, harm 2. 4 would be move 2, harm 1 against the beast. That would be harm 2. A 4 on my great axe would be move 2, harm 2 with cleave. Or I could get it to a 5, move 1, harm 3 with cleave. I cannot get close enough to do much this round. I think I'm going to assign it to my great axe and move to there. Just move. I don't want to be in the difficult terrain, do I? Bugger. So I may just assign the 5 and move 1. Because there I'm surrounded on 3 sides by difficult terrain. If I go onto the difficult terrain, I only do 1 point of damage. Oh, yeah. Yes. So I would need, move 1, harm 2. Even with the bonus from the Beast Blade would give me 3. But it would be then knocked down to 2. But I'd only be able to move 1. If I want to use either of the move 2s, I'm only going to do 1 point of harm. And I'm just putting myself in harm's way at that point. So I think I move forward and prep for next round. I've got to remember I have the beast spell. So, end of the first round. That counts down to 5. Next round, staying as my current setup, Gorax has a 2. Gorax is going to move 1 and do 3 harm. The Smasher on the left isn't adjacent to anybody. He's got a 3. He is going to move 2, harm 2. The fellow on the right has got a 6. He's going to stay where he is and do 3 harm. So this fella moves 2, trying to get close to me. Gorax moves 1, still not in a position to do me any harm. Bonza, I'm currently taking no harm. Oh, 2, 3, 1 harm from the wanker to the left. So let's see. Werewolf blood. 6-2-1. That isn't terrible. That is probably a 6 and a 3. So I think I put the 6 on the Great Axe and the 3 on the Beastbane Blade. Frankly, I move 2 to there. I cleave the shit out of this smasher, doing 1 point of damage to Gorax. Starting as we mean to go on. Well, starting. Second rounding as we mean to go on. Round end. First wave of reinforcements that aren't going to get over the wall. We are back to these guys. Gorax has a 1. Gorax is moving 1, harm 3ing again. The Smasher also has a 1. The Smasher is moving 1 harm. Oh no. Moving 1, harming 1. So he moves 1 towards me. Gorax moves 1 towards me. However Gorax moves, he ends up in difficult terrain, meaning his damage of 3 is knocked down to a 2. So let's see if we can fuck him up. 3 5s. Should have switched to DPS, shouldn't I? So basically that is 2 5s. Yeah, I should have gone to two-hander mode. Do you think it's worth taking out that Smasher and then shifting to two-hander mode? No. Stay where I am and do 6 damage to Gorax, you say? 6 damage to Gorax. Gorax would normally do me 3, but he is in difficult terrain, so only manages to do me 2. I am first blood. Oops. And I'm feeling pretty confident. Now I think we shift to two-handed. Okay. Gorax is... Oh. Gorax has a 5. Gorax is going to move 2, harm 2, and howl. The Smasher, still not adjacent to any allies, has a 3. The Smasher is going to move 2, harm 2. So, Gorax on a 5 moves into my space. This is the point at which special abilities take place. So the reinforcement clock goes up by 1, and the Smasher moves. Odds it'll go, keep going straight. Evens it'll turn right. It doesn't matter which way it goes. Evens it turns right. Ends up in difficult terrain either way. So at the moment, Gorax is doing me 2 harm. The Smasher is doing me 1 harm. I'm going to take 3 harm. I need a minimum of 1 move, which should be straightforward. 2 6s and a 4. That is very annoying. Because I listened to somebody and didn't put my boots on, I don't have the ability to move freely. So I'm going to have to drop the 6 and the 4 because it is adjacent range only, like most weapons. I'm going to move 1. That's Gorax. To there. I've got block 1, which is nice. Gorax does me 2 points of damage. I block that down to 1. I do him 1 point of damage, which goes up by 1 because this is the Beast Blade. I am on 8 hits. He is on significantly less than that. Stay two-handed, I think. Okay. Gorax gets a 5. Gorax is going to move 2, harm 2, and howl again. The Smasher is on a 6. The Smasher is staying where he is. This could be a pain. I'm doing harm 5. Gorax on a 5 moves into there. He's doing harm 2 and drops the dice to 0, triggering the next set of reinforcements. So the next wave arrives to reinforce Gorax. I think I'm restored to full hits, you know. Fully heals the engraved before the first wave, an additional 2 hits before each subsequent wave. The reinforced wall prevents the arrival of Gorax. That is true, they do fail to turn up. But that would mean that I've given up the full heal from the Mystics because I have the wall, and that seems odd. I think the best thing to do is split the difference and get healed too. What are you rating? Howl isn't a heal. Howl is a change the reinforcement dice. Brings the reinforcements more quickly. Okay. We are deciding that as they haven't turned up, I'm not getting any benefit from the Mystics. So, I put the 3 on the Beastbane Blade. That gives me a move of 2. And a harm 1. I put the 6 on that and cleave. Or... Right, how much health does he have left? Wait, he only has 3 health left. And I have 8. Yes, 6 is a heal. So actually, David, horrifically, is correct. I put the 6 into the Beastbane Blade. Move south 1. Cause Gorax 3 points of damage. Wait a second, yeah. Take 7 points of damage from my opponent. The mark only triggers on a 2 if I'm on 2 health, David, I did say. Puts me on 1 hit point, but I kill Gorax. With 3 points of damage from the Beastbane blade. We win. I've got a horrible feeling that when I rewatch this, when I'm editing it to put it on YouTube, I'm going to discover that we did in fact not win. But for now, I think we won. I'm probably going to pop over to the itch site where there's a queries and errata thing and find out how the wall and the mystics are supposed to interact with each other. But we have successfully defeated Gorax, which means we can claim our third rune, which is the Fell Mark. We can only have 3 runes. You know what I forgot to use? Despite reminding myself to fucking use it? The magic bell that would have stopped everybody acting this turn. God damn. So the Fell Mark, let's have a look. You may roll an extra stamina die during any round of combat if you do take 1 harm. Okay. They transformed others as part of their experiment. Most failed, some succeeded terrifically. So, 355. So we've defeated Gorax, we've saved the Fellwoods, we recruited various people, only 3 places burnt down while we were doing it. We came out with a really nice Beastbane blade. A lot of realms, I think, are going to have beasts on. And we also came out with a Windwalker mark, which I think is pretty niche piece of gear. But I could see myself equipping it for a fight where I've got no health. We basically are a werewolf now. Yes, you're right. While the 3 points of stamina that I've got from the Mystic thing is now gone because I've left the realm, the Fell Mark almost makes up for it. Yeah, nice. And so that was the Fellwoods. We have completed it almost exactly on time. I really enjoyed that one. It was very different to the Grim Coast. It were the running around collecting boons stuff. Yeah, a lot of fun. And some nice kit, which I can take on to the next realm. And it was nice and thematic as well. Things like getting the horse so that we could dash around without building up the plague clock, or recruiting the militia, saving the other town, and then getting another militia to replace them. That was beautifully timed. Some of that emergent narrative shit. Lore wasn't particularly important there, I didn't think. But it was all right. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed that one. So I'm going to bugger off now. I'm probably going to stream again at some point. All right, Ed, you've just finished me. You've just joined in as we're getting rid of. You're right. David's saying that Lore got us the toys. That is very true. I did like the element where certain points had to have not been burnt down by the Realm Lord's forces for certain other things to trigger off. That was really nice. I mean, it was really good. It was really good. It felt really nicely polished, I thought, and lots of cool interlocking parts on it. And as I say, we've now got 3 runes, a whole selection of random tat to take with us to the next realm, and I'm going to be streaming again before Christmas, I think. I'm not sure what night. We're going to take a look at Frostdale, which is the seasonal realm, in my opinion, in that it is full of snow. I'll catch you later. Bye!
Bants or bullying, bants or bullying. We're playing a game called Bants or bullying, bants or bullying, bants or bullying. It's rarely bants, it's usually bullying.